Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. How is everybody? What a difference a day makes. Yesterday I was all kinds of crabby. Everything went wrong. Today everything's going right. So, much better deal today. Well, you guys on YouTube are beating me here by like 20 minutes at least. What we got here? Juicy, Gary, good morning. Russell. What else we got in here? I see Gabriel in here. Gabriel's in there. Yeah. All right. So, let's see. What's in the news? First sailor order is placed. There are more coming. But I had to get something in. So I got an order in today. I was testing out my new inventory management software, which is, I'm not certain, 100% fully functional. But we're getting there. And it seems to have worked. So I'm gonna take that as a win. Because it's a whole lot easier to use than filling out a vendor's form to place an order. That's for sure. It's funny because some vendors are so much better than others. It's just mind-boggling how bad some of them are. Like, you want people to order stuff from you? Make it easy. And making an easy to navigate spreadsheet is super easy, Sailor does a good job, though. Sailor does a good job. And they don't care what software I use, so that works out even better. So I'm excited about that. I have not placed a Sailor order in I don't know how long. So that's pretty cool. That's my own personal little win today. Let's see, what else? Anything else? I got nothing. It's cold, snowy, slippery, all kinds of nasty. I heard back from the VW dealership. Apparently they are pushing to get my tire replaced. That wasn't replaced, so hopefully that's a win. But other than that, we got some pens to repair today. As much as I've been putting off these 51s, we're gonna tackle them head on today and see what we can get done. And we've got a 45 cap that's soaking, and a balance that we need to finish up. That should be no problem. I suppose I could just look for a new cap for this one, but I like to torture myself, and so there we are. Yeah, well, yeah, you'd think they notice a tire. And what chaps my what is that we were in there 6 weeks before, and like I mentioned before, most shops will tell you what you need. If you're a regular customer and you always get your service done by them, they'll tell you, your brakes are getting low, you need to replace your brakes, or your tires are getting low, you need to replace your tires. They gave me a full report. They gave me a full workup. And if it's something like, they give me the air filter, a cabin air filter. Yeah, I'll do that myself. Thank you very much. Even the fuel filter, I did that myself. Saved myself a few dollars so that I could get, I can more easily pay for the timing belt, which is a couple grand. And there was no mention whatsoever of the tires. Tires were fine. And we bring the car in and they say, oh, well, we got a little dry rot on the tires here. Well, it's only on one tire, and not coincidentally, It's on the tire that hit the curb in the accident. And so they're calling it dry rot. I call BS on that. Because the rest of them are fine and they didn't notice it before. Dustin, hello. How are you? Happy Wednesday. It is a happy Wednesday. Your sailor has been ordered, my friend. So we will see. We will see if they got it in stock. That's that's the big question right now because I've been out of it for a little while, so I don't know. I don't know what the stocking situation is there. But I had a lovely chat. Excuse me. Lovely chat today with my new inside rep. And it's going to be great. It's really going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. As long as we can beat the price increases, I think we're going to be in good shape. So. Somebody was making a desk set. I could buy more desk sets. I could save money to buy more desk sets. I don't need any help in that department. Yeah, Dustin, your other stuff for sure will be in stock. I'm not worried about that. Although that the cartridge case was listed as going away soon, so we'll see if that comes. It's not a huge deal, I suppose. But the rest of the stuff, at least we'll get that. Your cartridges and your converter and that stuff will be available. But I told them, I said, listen, on these pens for customers, if you don't have it in stock, don't back order it. Because you're going to get it and it's going to be twice the price or something ridiculous. My math was a little bit off when I did my pre-calculations, and I didn't notice that the pen that I wanted to buy actually cost me $50 more than it did a year ago. So the price went up $50 on my side. It's still not too bad. It's still not too bad, all things considered. I stuck it in just under the bank balance. So we're good. We're good. All right. What do we want to do first? Do we want to look at this 45 cap and torture ourselves with that for a little bit? We should at least see if it's going to come off. We should at least see if it's going to come off. Oh, snap. My eraser on my pencil came off inside. Mike streaming live from Philadelphia. My only problem with Philadelphia is this time of year in Philly, the weather is just not good. The number of times I've been stuck in Philly because of a snowstorm. With like 3 years in a row. That's not gonna work. I really need a pliers. I don't have anything that's going to fit this. Well, so much for my eraser. Philadelphia show is going to be Eastern Time Zone, U.S. Come on. Well, we'll work on this a little bit each day, and we'll see what we can get. Got some improvement over yesterday, so. I'm going to throw it in the ultrasonic. Oh, we'll try that. You're a little warmth out this way. You checked it in an hour. It says the temp climbed to 81. 81. That's ridiculous. 81. I think we're destined for like 42 today is our high, but it was pretty cold this morning. 15 or 16 on that. Boston Logan is also horrible in winter. Not much room for de-icing like DTW MSP has. I've had full naps at Boston and was just getting to the front of the line when you woke up. Wow. Yeah, 16. We'll do 16. Yeah, I remember. I'll never forget the one year. It was actually, it was something else. It was what's the word for it? We got snowed in. We couldn't leave on time. We had to stay an extra day. Thruway was closed, and we ended up going to dinner with friends. And we had, we walked to dinner. there was no driving involved. We walked to dinner, and there were snowball fights in the streets. It was really something else. It's like something. It was like out of a Hallmark movie. That's maybe the only thing I miss about the Philly show is that particular restaurant is really fantastic. I always forget the name of it. Someone reminds me, I go, oh yeah. And then, the next day it's left my brain cells. Begins with an M, I think. But I know our friends in in Philly know what it is, so I just go, take me to that restaurant. It's a great little diner. All right. Somewhere around here, I got a cloth. Or not, I don't know. All right. Okay, let's look at some. Let's move these over. Well, we got this. Let's do this. Use that. Oops. Actually, probably not. Not sure what's going on with this guy, but diaphragm that's folded over on the pellet cup here. It's all mushy. Let's get our... Dremel out. Ow. Ow. Just stabbed myself. If there's any question of whether or not that little burr is sharp or not, let me assure you it is. Just stab myself a bit. All right, one down. We'll do the other one too on the burgundy. Oh man, that hurts. Two down. Mariah, how are you? Happy Wednesday. When they get really short like that, it's really, you're probably not going to get it out. But are we avoiding work today, Mariah? Back into the kids show. All right. I hope you got our Pen Club email last night. Come on. And tax junk, yeah. Are we there, but you'll be a little late? Okay. Well, we had a devil of a time trying to get the Gmail account in Lisa's name, and it just it wasn't happening. And Lisa got sick, and finally I said, well, enough's enough. We're just going to create an email account. I've got all the members or the people on the list, and I imported them in, and I said, that's what we're going to do. All right, so this one is for the Burgundy, where we fixed the cap yesterday. We've got a little bit of the sack on there, so I'm going to try to, maybe we got luck that we're going to heat that up enough, or it's just going to pop right out. Just like that, it fell out. Yeah, she's feeling better. She told me today, she said, she sent me a text. She says, I'm hungry. Well, that's a step in the right direction. A little bit of an appetite. She sees people all day long, you know, customers come in and all that stuff. So, sure she picked something up from somebody. I didn't get it. Whatever it was. You were sick for 2 weeks over the holidays? Oh. That sucks. So she'll be fine. She's got a little more energy. She slept most of the last 2 days. And she wasn't working. She was sleeping. I think Monday she hit the sack at like 6. Last night she was feeling a little better, and they said, well, try to stay up a little bit later so you don't get up in the middle of the night. You can't sleep. All right. So this bit is just the one that cleans out the inside of the cup. Got to be a little careful. I really only use it if the sack's not pliable, but it comes out. And all right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to bring to Pen Club. I guess I better figure that out. I got one pen for Christmas. I've been carrying it around for 3 weeks now. I haven't inked it up. I don't know why I'm delaying. It's like, there's only a couple of possible ink choices I'm going to put in this thing. But, it's a modern pen, so I don't have to stick with just Waterman. Yeah, my Obsidian, yeah. I've been carrying it around uninked for like the last, That's so nice. I don't know, maybe do that on Thursday. Maybe do it tomorrow, I'll ink it up. All right, well, let's see. We got to look at the barrels to make sure that they're good to go. You really need this. Interestingly, the seat is clear, but everything past the seat is all mucked up. Oh, I think that's good. You really got to get in there. It could be deceptive if your seat is clean. But then you've got schmutz behind it. So I think that's good. I think this one. It's hard to tell sometimes. That one's good. Gray is easy because you can see the color. Okay. I'll do this one just so I can say I did it. And sometimes it just falls right off. Gary, did you sell any of your pens on Estabrook yesterday? I'm telling you, people, if that Croxley's still there, y'all need to buy it. It's a very good price. And a very cool pen. All right. I was looking around eBay last night. I don't do it very often. I don't actually think I have it set up. My account set up properly. You haven't sold anything but a lot of watching. Okay. Well, you know, we tried. Someone needs to buy that Croxley. I don't need to buy it. Would I like to buy it? Yes. But do I need it? No, I don't need it at all. I don't need any more pens right now for at least At least till the Baltimore show. I need to sell stuff that I have. And I'm working on that. But I was looking, and I have a particular fondness for early Bard and Brothers. Not maybe Todd and Bard, not, that it's Bard and Brothers, which is early. And one time at a show, I bought and found a number 2 and a number 8 Barden Brothers nib at the same pen show. Now these pens were this company existed for only a couple of years, like around 1850. So I mean they're old. And so every once in a while, look, I've got a search set up for Bard. I like maybe Todd and Bard as well. Anything Bard related, I like. And there was a combo. So dip pen and mechanical pencil, retractable combo with the Barden Brothers nib. Now I don't know if the whole unit's Barden Brothers. That's hard to say. A lot of that stuff changed hands. Broken nib, you just replaced it. But there's a Barden Brothers number 6 on a combo on eBay. I almost choked when I saw the price. The low price of $4,500. And today, I get a notice that the seller has decided to offer me a very special price on said Barden Brothers combo. The low price of $3,750. Yeah. All right, I need to get, actually, hang on, let me check. I need to get some diaphragms for these. I don't know if I have any here. Oh, I do. My latest batch, I snuck a bag out for myself. Okay. Right before the stream, I was searching through a bucket I have, and I really need to do a concerted effort on this. I've got a bucket of hard rubber parts, and I'm looking for something in particular I may or may not have. Very early, very rare. And I've got it in my head that I have this particular pen with a particular imprint. I probably don't, but you never, ever know. This bucket of hard rubber pens I bought at a show once, and then promptly put it on the shelf. It didn't look, I was like, well, that's a good deal. I might need parts from it someday. Like almost no nibs. A lot of feeds, pens without caps, cracked caps, stuff like that. I was looking through the bin a couple of months ago, and I ran across a part. I thought, boy, isn't that weird? And then I promptly threw the barrel back in the bucket, never to be seen again, despite having looked several times for it. And I actually did find it this time, so I pulled it out. It is this beautiful piece of hard rubber, and there's probably there's not a single person in the chat, I am sure, that is as excited about this find as I am. But let me just double check who's in over on Twitch. Yeah, not much going on Twitch. This is, and you know, this is the epitome of, you know, I'm never gonna find the cap, much less the section, the nib, the feed. I mean, but I got the barrel, so I mean, at least I got that going for me. And does it have any other imprint on this? But this is something special. Let me just, before I wax rhapsodic over how awesome this particular item is. Yeah. So the imprint is super faint. I don't even know. You probably, I doubt you even, there's a 2-line imprint. You might be able to read one line. Yeah, you can't see it. It's right here. So this is an interesting piece, and the section is actually, there's a piece of section in there. We should take that out. Okay, so the barrel threads are good. I mean, I'm just going to toss that in the can. Let me take care of this spammer over here on Twitch side. So anyway, this lovely black hard rubber barrel only has it's got a 2-line imprint. If you look very closely, you know what this is. You can kind of make out Mercantile, which of course is an Aiken Lambert and Company branding model. But then underneath it is a line that says made under Wirt and Stone patents. So it's a very early Aiken Lambert, and the Wirt and Stone patent, if I'm not mistaken, had to do with the feed. I think. I had to look it up again. But this is a super early Aiken Lambert barrel. I don't know what we're to do with it. You know, to find the cap for this is, I mean, if anybody could do it, I probably could do it. But no cap, no section, no nib, no feed. But super cool early barrel. I mean, you have to know what you're looking for to make that interesting. And now everybody's asleep. You love vintage hard rubber pens. Waterman and Swad maybe Todd. I have 3 on the way. Great. I do too. I love hard rubber pens. That's why it's really hard for me to like justify buying or keeping anything else. You know, modern pens, or I don't really care much for 51s, but there's a couple of 51s I really, really like. Oh, someone's here. Hang on. Hello. How you doing? Amazon is really confused when they walk in and nobody's here. They don't know what to do. But I've got a couple of 51s this year. only because they're colors that I always have troubles with. Um, I the hardest one, and if you know, for 51s is plum. It's a hard color to identify, and once you get it, you're good. But I've had a couple over the years, and I always end up selling them off. I had a really, really very nice one, and I couldn't justify having a $250 pen sitting around that I wasn't going to use. So at the time, I sold it. But another one came along this year or this past year. And I'm sick and tired of, is this burgundy? Is it plum? Heaven forbid you sell a pen as burgundy and it turns out it's plum. That we don't need. So I kept a plum. And then there was um, a buckskin, which I get confused with Yellowstone or mustard. And so in the same lot, there was a buckskin. I said, well, I'm going to keep that. I have a little budding 51 collection now. But I much prefer anything hard rubber. It's infinitely cooler. And actually, oddly enough, the simpler the better, I think. All right, so this is a little bit wide. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze it a little bit. Heat it up. Just give it a little bit of a a load of shellac and stuff on here, so we scrape that off. And there goes my sack. And these two pieces are kind of frozen together, so that's not good. Son of a gun. Well, this is the one that had, there's my pellet cup, something on it, and it could have been something just holding that stupid thing together. It just literally, I've never had that happen. It just literally went up in flames. Hard rubber ring tops are significantly cheaper than normal pens. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody wants a ring top. All right, well, I guess we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, these pellet cups need to be. All right, had to squish that a little bit. It didn't look all that great, but let's see if it holds up. Boy, it stinks in here now. Parker Penman Sapphire, really the OG sheener. Well, that's not really. That's not the thing about Parker Penman Sapphire. It's just a really good blue. Like sheening inks and stuff like that. It wasn't an idea. You know, that's a modern phenomenon. Penman's just a really fabulous, vibrant blue. That one went together real nice. We're going to do this one, and then at least maybe, hopefully we'll have 3 filling units amongst the 4 here. This one looks questionable too, so. And that's the thing you have with Vacuumatics, you know, 51 Vacs or regular Vacuumatics. Even if the pen looks great, you have no idea the condition of the filling unit. Son of a gun. This one did the same thing. It just went up in smoke. All right, well, let's see if we got any filling units left. There it is. I knew I had a bag somewhere. I knew there was maybe 2 left. But they've got pellets in them, so I gotta drill them out. Oh. I've never had pellet cups just go up and smoke like that. Is it worth 60 pounds for a full bottle of Parker Penman? Well, if you can get it for 60 pounds, you should buy it because they sell often for $100 to $120 US. I had a chance to get a bottle or even a partial bottle earlier this year, and the seller decided they didn't want to sell it. They sold me everything else except for the bottle of Penman. And Sapphire is the one. It's not, don't get thrown off by the term Parker Penman, because there's an ebony and there's a black, a green, a burgundy, all that jazz. The Sapphire is the one. Cartridges, the problem with cartridges is they're going to be dried up. And I don't buy into that. Just add distilled water crap to it. Um, it's not the same. Skip the cartridges. If you can only get, you can get the bottle, get the bottle. But yeah, skip the cartridges. Number one, they're Parker proprietary, so unless you've got a Parker to put them in, you're going to have to get the ink out and put it in. I mean, it's way too much work. But a bottle for 60 pounds, that's great. What did I do? Is there my other one? Yeah. I've got stuff caught on my bit here. There's a bottle on eBay with bidding at $41, no box. Yeah, that'll change in six hours. We actually had a couple of bottles in our collection. Sapphire and emerald and ebony, and the Bordeaux, the red, whatever that was called. I mean, some of them we only had a third of a bottle, and we were able to sell them. And actually that was the way to go, because you could get a third of a bottle for, say, $30. And if you never tried it before, you could try it for $30. You don't have to buy a $120. I mean, I've seen these bottles go for outrageous prices. Come on. Well, that one was difficult. That's how you want it. It's nice and tight. Expecting a Sterling Slim Ventura in the mail today. We're going to see what that's all about when you get home. Sterling Ventura. I don't know why. Eversharp's not really my cup of tea, but there's a couple pieces that are interesting. I like the earlier wall stuff. Flat tops. It's not my day for vac units. Son of a biscuit. All right, well, I got one left, but I don't want to use it. It's a little bit different, too. It's got aluminum. I suspect this is... Yeah, it's not great. Let me see if I got another one lying around. My graveyard of... '51 vacuumatic parts. Well, I guess that's what I'm buying in Baltimore. You have a vacuumatic with the black button, likely a replacement filling unit at some point. Is it 1943, 44? '46. Okay. Well, yeah, then it's a replacement. 43, 44, they use a black end and plastic, not aluminum, threaded part. to reduce aluminum, and they're awful. When I come across them, I know I'm going to be in. I know it's a 4344, and I know I'm going to be in for a heck of a ride. Yeah, because they seize up in the barrel. Yep. Yeah, it's a wartime filling unit. All right, so yesterday we talked about joules and replacement joules, and joules being close enough. So let's take a look at some joules, shall we? So the one here on the pen, that's original. You can see it's got a little depth. It's hard to view on here. And this here is an aftermarket. Unit, which looks similar. It's a little more grayer, but it doesn't quite have the depth as the original. I mean, it looks good, but it's not perfect. So I've got three filling units. I got 2 black pens. If we can get this joule in this cap, we're going to sacrifice a black pen so we can have a burgundy with this nice gold fill cap. So what we're going to do, we're going to see if this fits. So the problem I have is it doesn't quite thread in nicely. And this doesn't thread into there. So it threads most of the way, but not all the way. And the clip still spins. Yeah, so that's the problem. And it's not quite right. In this case, it doesn't. It doesn't quite thread in right. So I don't know if it's specific to arrow. But it doesn't thread in. And of course, in the process, um, it's brass and it got all chewed up. And this jewel won't fit in the existing threading. So that answers that. $3:30 already. All right, Dustin, if you're still watching, it looks like that pen is in stock. Which is good news. Well, fudge. I don't really want two black 51 Vacs. But then here we are. A pity this jewel didn't fit. The screw didn't fit. All right, well. Clean these up. I'm just going to toss these in the ultrasonic. And if you're not listening, Dustin, then it'll be a surprise. It will be fun to see how quick they process the order. Can you use microgloss to clean inside of Vacuumatic barrel? You sure can. Use 5. I know people are like, well, I'll use 1 because it's less abrasive. Well, you know, you're going to be going all day long. It's almost incorrect to say, you know, to talk about microgloss in terms of abrasiveness. I mean, 5 microns is really pretty small. But 5 will get all of your ink residue and all that jazz. Oh, and that's really what you want. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit, even though it's should be the right length. It just doesn't. No, it's. This is the one that had that. I think this is the one that had like some kind of silicone or some kind of adhesive. Always look at your threads in the inside of your barrel before you put your filling unit in. And the threads on your filling unit. If it was hard to get out, it's going to be hard to get back in. Unless you clean everything out. All right. Just for fun, we are going to drop these collectors in the Dr. G's, see if we can clean them up just a little bit. This one I'm going to drop the whole thing in. It's still kind of a disaster. It's covered up in ink and I may have to replace my solution. If I do, I should do it now because Hans is not watching and Hans would tell me it's just getting good. But I don't have to sit and hoard it anymore now that I got a bunch of bottles on the shelf. Clean out these clutch rings. Well, this part I'm cleaning, no one's ever going to see because I'm not. It's just the top and the bottom of the clutch ring. All right. Those are good. Let's see if soaking this for an hour did any good. Let's see if I can pull the clutch finger out. Oh, there we go. All right. At least we got it moving in the right direction now. Something thinner than the pencil. Well, so this is an interesting predicament we're in now. I've actually been able to straighten it out. To the point where it would probably work all right. However, now we've loosened the top, so we either have to tighten it up or we have to unscrew it and clean it out. But it wants to move neither way. So whatever adhesive they use on these stinking little clip screws is ridiculous. I'm just going to heat the snot out of it and see what happens. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, there. The finger was pretty damaged. So it just broke off, which is to be expected because it had doubled back on itself. So let's see what we got. Long clutch. Okay. Ye old 45 cap graveyard. So that's what we need right there. I'm just going to replace that whole part. These threads are a little wonky in there. Leaving for gym. All right, Gary. Have a good workout. Do pens get colds? I wasn't aware they needed the snot removed. Yeah. Did you hear my earlier comment, Dustin? It looks like Sailor's got your pen. So they're already started processing the order, which is remarkable. And I'm super happy about it. Put this cap together and put this out of our misery. You know, I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to clean off these threads. Yeah, it gives me more joy. It just tells them it was the right decision. Which they knew all along. That went on easy. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of this poor, sad excuse of a overheated whatever. Because I have myself here a nice, big, long. Let's cut off. Nice new straw. And we'll go for red for cardinal red. Beautiful. All right. Okay, we can try that one tomorrow, along with this guy here. So that'll be good. All right. What are we doing? We saved something. I'm going to brush that off. So I got some of this nasty stuff off, but I'm going to throw it back in there. It's looking better. I can actually see a little transparency. The nib came off, which is good. I know what ink they use, but I don't want to ever you see it again. Jason, good afternoon. What is happening? Well, it looks a little better. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to toss this out. It's pretty. I think it was that one Conklin we did a couple of months back. And had all sorts of gunk and crap on it. Remember that? I still can't get the feed out of this collector though. I'm starting to see the transparency. But it's still pretty jammed up. Umar, hello. Glenn, you got a gold Aurora 98 today? Odd little pen. I would say a gold 98's a good thing. All right. I hate to put it back in there. It's just nasty. Just nastiness going on in there. Actually, it looks pretty good. Yeah, the feed is, the breather tube is all jammed up. Tell you what, I'm going to drop this in the ultrasonic. I'm going to dump this out, and we're going to fill it up with some fresh stuff. And then, because my ultrasonic is getting kind of nasty anyway. And I'll be right back. I'm going to dump this out. Spring-loaded converter that pops out of the ends of the barrel. That is strange. Trust, learn a bit, and your life will change. Yep. All right, well, we got a little bit more here. It was really like a science experiment going on in that that container. All right, so we're waiting for that. I was thinking for a second there it was going to be like the some of those old 88s with the gold-filled overlay, where you have to take the overlay off to operate the piston. You ever seen those? I think those are 88s, or are they 98s? I can't remember. This one's a real tight fit. So in this case, I'll just push the feed down as far as it's going to go. I don't really need that. And then you put the nib in. It's one of the few Auroras you've ever handled. The cap and barrel are marked 333. Yeah, I like the idea of a vintage Aurora, but I used to actually have some 88s, and I prefer, and no surprise, I prefer the ones with the hard rubber piston knobs and hard rubber hoods. But in the great purge of 2024, those went away. AT&T is calling. They're the only ones that have my number. They think they're being stealthy. But they're not. So the tines are just a little bit. Actually, a brass sheet probably solve our problem here. All right, we're going to test these tomorrow. Oh, wait. This one with this. I was like, where did the rest of my stuff go here? There's just a couple of fins that are clogged up here, so I'm just going to. Sometimes you can't get it out in an ultrasonic. It's just too. Too hard to do. All right. Those two we can test tomorrow. Let's see how this is doing here. All right, so now we can start seeing it's clear. So we're getting there. It was black. I still gotta deal with getting it off, getting the feed off. But as I run through the collector here, I just wipe it on my finger so I don't end up pushing something back through. There's a big chunk. I still want to put it in the Dr. G's. It might help the breather tube. I want to keep my solution as clean as possible for as long as possible. All right, let's put it in there. Let's see if we can see anything. You've used Amedex on a toothbrush and ultrasonic for quite a few collectors now. Great results. Good. Well, I'm getting some pieces that came off right away. The big problem is the feed is stuck inside here. I can't, normally you can twist the feed and it will move, and you can usually just keep twisting it and it comes out. This one is not happening. That's probably not enough, but we got a couple things going here. We're not going to be able to get it clean unless we can get it out, and it's not going to flow any ink whatsoever. So if we can get some of the solution flowing through the tube, maybe it will start to get up in the breather tube area, which could maybe free up the feed a little somewhere. You can see it come out. Since I agitated it, it's coming out of the tube. I'm going to wipe this. You can, I don't know if you can see it, there's ink all the way over. I'm just going to wipe it off in the water so I don't get my solution all inky anymore than it needs to anyway. So it's about there. Really surprised I can't pull out the one piece or the other. There we go. So usually I do is I'll grab, usually with a cloth, I'll grab this and then I'll spin it. And I just keep going in the same direction. I don't go back and forth, but I'll spin it. And there we go. And I'm going to throw that in there. And that will help dissolve some of that. But you can see it inside. Where it's really dark in the middle there, which is where the breather hole is in the feed. This is, I know this is, for some people, this is probably like, what is this? This is like watching grass grow. I find this, and watching an ultrasonic, if you haven't done it before, really fascinating. And there's only a couple times a year I probably should do it more often, but clean Dr. G's. It's still doing this when it's got, when you can't see it, but you can see as I move this, there's ink coming off the feed. I'm doing a very bad job of trying to hook this with my little, there we go. All right, enough playing around. Let's see if I can blow through this now. Let me clean off the stuff that's on there. And so this is what you got. You can kind of see, you can see the feed channel there. It's all clogged up in here. But now that we've got this open, we can measure how far this goes in. And it's just shy of that breather hole. You can see I'm getting ink to come out of there. Not quite. Let's throw it in the ultrasonic and see if that can help now that we've got it apart. So sometimes you run across collectors that are black, and that's what color they actually are. That's what I thought this was, but we can see it's clear. So I'm just picking it, and this is real fiddly work. You know, if you got another feed, it's probably just as easy or another collector, just as easy to replace a collector, but this is actually going to be great because what was it? Last week I pulled aside this pen. Speaking of Watermans. Nasty, nasty, discolored. 52.5 V. But this is a perfect candidate for dropping in there. Probably hit that tomorrow. All right, so this naphtha we can close up. Well, let's see if we got any movement on this. Nope. So it finally came off, which is good. So what we can do now is we can get at it from this angle or try to push it through. There we go. That's what was blocking it up. Just sucked in some blue ink. If it wasn't Penman Sapphire. I'm going to drop that in, leave that in there. This is okay. Well, not a lot of progress today, but we'll have 4 pens we can test tomorrow. And this one, hopefully, we can get that collector cleaned up. Starting to see the ink coming off the feed here. And there was still a little bit at this end here, so this whole length here is almost all clear except for at the end. It blows through, but let's get it out. There's just particles in there. I think it just needs to soften for a while. So we're going to let that sit. And it'll probably be okay. Well, it'll probably be okay tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be okay tomorrow. But oh, so that's it for today, I guess. That's a good place to stop. It's what, 10 to 5. I think Lisa's getting done on time today, which is great. We can go home. Chill out. Relax. Tomorrow, Thursday, regular stream. Thanks, Jason. Have a good night. I can't think of anything noteworthy that's happening tomorrow, so we'll just call it that. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening, great afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're watching this. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. See you, Mariah. Take care.